Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to a video, and this is a paid request from Ben. Thank you so much for that. For those interested in requesting any type of videos, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. And this is for a film called State of Grace, which is 2 hours and 14 minutes, so it's a pretty lengthy movie. I remember seeing this one time. I remember liking it, but at the same time, if you were to ask me to remember the film, I don't. I remember liking the movie, but I didn't grow up with the film, so I don't really have any stories to tell in terms of backstory or really not much of trivia or who I grew up with it. So, like I said, I saw it once. I do remember liking it, but at the same time, I don't remember really any of the details of it. So, with that said, 3, 2, 1, pressing play. The MGM logo. So it's not going to be an in-depth commentary in terms of, oh, this is how I feel about for this. It's just more of, I don't remember the movie, so, and sorry if I'm eating a bit of the chili cheese fries. Trying this out with Pringles. So it's a movie, might as well have a snack. Orion Pictures. They went away for a while after the company kind of belly flopped. That's right, RoboCop 3 barely got a release. And it came back for a little bit with a couple films. I don't know what they're doing now. But yeah, the film stars Sean Penn, Gary Oldman, Ed Harris, Robin Wright. Before his Robin Wright Penn. I think this is after Sean Penn. I'm trying to remember Sean Penn, if this is when he was still with Madonna, or maybe this was after he was with Madonna. Might have been after. Because when it was around At Close Range, another good one where he was with Madonna at the time. That's one of the reasons why she did that song at the end, Live to Tell. And in Sean Penn and Robin Wright, there you go, would be Robin Wright Penn. I don't know if they were in a relationship at this time, but John Turturro, good actor, loved him in the Big Lebowski. Never fuck with the Jesus. Burgess Meredith, I forgot Burgess Meredith was in this. Rest in peace to him. Mickey from the Rocky films. I forgot Burgess Meredith was in this. But I remember this being a pretty decent crime drama. I know you find out. The little bit I remember that John C. Reilly did a great job in Calling Skull Island. He was in Step Brothers with Will Ferrell. I was saying, I know that Sean Penn's character is a cop. Ennio Morricone, great composer. From the spaghetti westerns, worked he did in some of that stuff. Man with No Name trilogy to John Carpenter's The Thing, on many other movies. Great composer. But yeah, I know that Sean Penn's character is a police officer. Ed Harris is our main bad guy. Trilogy. Not too bad. Yeah, not too bad. Bridge is falling down, falling down. Oh, you got the Twin Towers back there. Never forget. There's John Turturro. How you doing? Oh, we got a couple guns. Great Christmas present. Was it my birthday? Of course, the idea is, of course, Sean Penn is undercover in that huge series of undercover cop movies, from Donnie Brasco to various others. Interesting that one of the first conversations is about blowing the dog's brains out. Don't hear that kind of thing in every movie. Maybe you should be a cat person. Just get some pussy. Yeah, I'm cold. Yeah, it's cold here too. I don't. I know the feeling. Again, sorry I'm not giving a lot of commentary. Like I said, I've seen this like once. Oh, with the guns like blanks and stuff, and they're alive. So is John Turturro undercover as well? Makes it seem like Sean Penn is more trustworthy for whoever's going to be. This guy's going to show him upper echelon bosses. I want to cut to John Turturro white, getting up. Or maybe we'll see those guys later. Yeah, he's got like a leather shirt coat on and then a blue jean vest. Interesting look. Back when you saw a lot more people smoking in movies. Nowadays, that seems taboo. That people smoking cigarettes in movies. In fact, I know there have been, but it's really hard for me to think of the last movie that had people smoking cigarettes. I mean, obviously there has to be, but it's just probably none of the bigger movies, because they just promote cigarettes and stuff. No, it's just that there's people that do it, and just is a bit of a different. Well, it gives a bit of reality to it, because there's still a lot of people that fucking do it. So you got Gary Oldman here, which this is the time he was in films like True Romance. Of course, Gary Oldman will be in a lot of stuff. He was in Christopher Nolan's Batman trilogy as Commissioner Gordon. Gordon. He was in The Fifth Element. He was the bad guy in Air Force One. A lot of movies. Good actor. Very solid actor. Even in lousy films, I mean, he was in that RoboCop reboot. Lousy film. Gary Oldman did the best he could in it. I'm trying to remember the movie he was in. He played like a lawyer or something, and he was like the lead and a good guy. Because it's very rare that you got to be the lead as a good guy. Seems for a while there he was either portrayed as a sleazy bad guy or just a bad guy in general. He's a bit of sleazy in True Romance. He's a little bit sleazy here, although he's Sean Penn's friend in the movie. You got, like I said, the villain in The Fifth Element, villain in Air Force One, Leon the Professional, everyone. He's a good guy in the Nolan Batman films, but I mean, not as a lead. Damn, some nice ladies on the fridge there. Can't do that now. It'd be canceled. That's the thing, though. Back in the day, you would see a lot of films like this get mainstream, as in nationwide in theaters. It's not as much of a thing nowadays. Probably if this were released today, it would probably go to streaming. Sally. So the idea, not every day you see a movie where your buddy has dead, disembodied frozen hands in their freezer because, hey, you need to get rid of a gun. You put those fingerprints on. They think they're searching for a dead man. But yeah, these films definitely help when you have a really good cast behind it. Anyway, I can't remember. Just sort of looked up some details on this on the phone, but again, to repeat one last time, I've only seen this one time, so it's like watching it new, and I can't remember when I last saw it. I think I reviewed it. I think it was for Ben actually that I reviewed it. So, and then he sent me the Blu-ray for this. No features on the Blu-ray, but looks good so far. The picture quality wise. And then there's Robin Wright. Nice looking lady. I know a lot of times I do reviews and commentaries, and I get random people saying, "Oh, you're so boring." You're right. I don't parade around like a circus act. When I react or look at a movie, it's, "Oh my god, you're so crazy." I'm like, because people don't really fucking do that in reality. It's just this act. Right, it's an act that gets people views, but it's just not the kind of guy I am. So this came out in 1990. 7.2 on IMDb, 85% Rotten Tomatoes. So, the guy who directed it, he had directed 3 O'Clock High. Oh, nice. Really interesting high school flick starring Casey Shamasco, Richard Tyson. 3 O'Clock High is definitely worth a look. Very interesting. Great score by Tangerine Dream. Highly recommend 3 O'Clock High. After this, he did Final Analysis with Richard Gere, Heaven's Prisoners with Alec Baldwin, Gridiron Gang. Oh, and he actually directed the Punisher short film Dirty Laundry, starring Thomas Jane. Interesting. Maybe I did know that before. Well, I forgot that this director were going to do Dirty Laundry. That was a good Punisher short film. Although the film was a flop, and its release overshadowed that of Goodfellas, it was received positively by critics. Yeah, only made first week of box office $179,000. It was in circulation a few weeks and appeared on 335 screens on its widest release. So this didn't even get a wide release. Shit. 1.9 million was all the box office it made. Around the same week, another film was released. It was Goodfellas. So, man. Well, that's too bad. Yeah, if at most you're releasing like 300 theaters, you're not even giving it a much of any chance. There's John C. Riley in the middle there. So let's see, Sean Penn, and this point of his career, he had done. He was Spicoli in Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Did Bad Boys, of course, not the Will Smith film. The Falcon, the Snowman, At Close Range. That was when he was with Madonna. Casualties of War is a great one. And he did this one. After this, he was in Carlito's Way. He was in Dead Man Walking, The Game, Thin Red Line, 21 Grams, All the Teens Men, Gangster Squad. I guess he's going to be in a film called Daddy-O. Okay. And something called Gonzo Girl. Interesting titles. He did an action film that was trying to be like that Liam Neeson type called The Gunman, which I remember being okay. But very plot wise, very by the numbers, and it's a film I could watch. There's some pretty decent moments in there. I think Sean Penn does a good job. It is one of those you kind of watch it, you're expecting a bit more out of it. And then see Gary Oldman at this point in his career. Let's see, he had done Sid and Nancy. Criminal Law was the one I was thinking of. where he played the lead and he was a good guy, and Kevin Bacon was the bad guy. So yeah, criminal law. Let's see. After this, he was Lee Harvey Oswald in JFK, True Romance, Romeo Was Bleeding, Leon the Professional, Fifth Element, Air Force One, Lost in Space, Hannibal, where he was under all that makeup and as Mason Verder. They just eaten up by pigs by the end. He was in a few of the Harry Potter films, as Sirius Black, Book of Eli. And lately, he was in The Hitman's Bodyguard. That's right, he was the bad guy in that. I guess he was in Oppenheimer as Harry S. Truman. Still have not seen Oppenheimer. I guess he's in video games, including Call of Duty Black Ops, which actually that's a playthrough I need to get to. That was a request. What about you? Gary Oldman's in that. Robin Wright. Let's take a look at her. She was in She's So Lovely, Moneyball, Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, Wonder Woman, Blade Runner 2049. I forgot she was in that. Oh yeah, she was in The Princess Bride before this. That's right. Toys with Robin Williams, Forrest Gump as Jenny, Unbreakable. Forgot she was in that movie. Lieutenant Joshi in Blade Runner 2049. General Antiope in Wonder Woman films. So she, let's see. I'm trying to think. She's won some awards actually. She was nominated a lot for the TV show House of Cards. And she was nominated for a few Golden Globe Awards. Forrest Gump, she won one for House of Cards, was nominated two more times for that show. All right. And sorry about the background noise, other stuff going on. Of course, we got Ed Harris here. Which this must have been a cakewalk for him because the last film he was a part, well, one of the last films what he was a part of was The Abyss, which was all the stuff that's been said about how much of a pain in the ass it was to make that movie. Like I said, I'm sure this was like a walk in the park for him after that experience. Like, God, I don't have to be underwater. I don't have to feel like I'm going to fucking drown. I don't have to deal with Jimmy Tammy's hard ass. This must be like a reprieve for that, from all that shit. Although I do love The Abyss. Several incidents in the film are based on actual testimony given by captured mobsters. The meeting in the restaurant with the Italian mobster and the dead man's hand sequences are based on recollections of various New York gangs. Okay. Sean Penn and Robin Wright became a couple during the filming of this movie, had two children over the next 3 years, broke up, then got back together before finally marrying in 1996, and they divorced in 2010. director of this movie introduced his then girlfriend Uma Thurman to actor Gary Oldman on the set. And then she became Oldman's second wife shortly after the film premiered, but the marriage only lasted 18 months. The original cut of this film was 3 hours long, but scenes were cut. An entire subplot between Frankie and Jackie telling Irish mob bosses together. The only footage that remains of these scenes to be seen in some Orion home video trailers. The original title was Hell's Kitchen. Yeah, Standard Grace just sounds better. It flows better. Another actor was originally cast in the part of which was eventually played by Ed Harris. Harris had trouble accepting the role because he was still recovering from the injuries he suffered on The Abyss. That's a pretty good looking shot. Like all the fire, you have the actual actors taking part in this. No CGI, folks, just real people or maybe a few stunt people. Real people doing real dangerous stuff. You don't have some digital fuckery that takes you out of the movie, or well, that looks like a video game, or that looks off, or like I said, with CGI, it's still hard for them to get fire looking. Because fire is its own thing. Like fire doesn't follow a set pattern. So to try to create that digitally is such a tough endeavor. So I guess the guy who was originally the bad guy was Bill Pullman, but then replaced by Ed Harris. Ed Harris would again play an Irish mob crime boss in A History of Violence. That's a pretty good one. He will also do it again in Run All Night, which didn't care for. Let me see. That's all I could find on here with information about that stuff. So there you go on that. Never was an alcohol drinker. Considering all the films I see that he played in bars and people getting drunk off their ass, I was never one of those guys. I do not like alcohol at all. I do not understand why people drink it. Years and years and years ago, I've tried like a couple beers, like sips, and it tastes like battery acid and warm piss. I would assume is what it would, because I've never had warm or cold piss. I wouldn't know what it tastes like, but if I had to guess, I would guess it tastes like beer. It's just disgusting. And maybe one was I think one I tried was a, what do you call it? It was a fruit one. What, like, I want to say water, not water cooler. Just I even wine, like wine cooler, like one of the wine coolers, like one of those things. And even then, it's like the alcohol just had this acid taste that just. I'm like, if I want that or fruit, I'll just drink this. And hey, it may not be good for me either, but for me, it just tastes so much better. And I don't have to worry about getting drunk either. So now we got Sean Penn and Robin Wright walking together. And again, based on that info, they would start going out after this. I mean, that's why afterward, I guess you see Robin Wright Penn. But yeah, she's one of those actresses that when people mention the list of actresses throughout the years, her name really never comes up. At the same time, you look at her filmography, you go, oh yeah, Forrest Gump, Jenny, Princess Bride, Buttercup. Was that her name in it? Unbreakable and like all these other movies. Oh yeah, okay. Honestly, I think she would have made a better Wonder Woman than Gal Gadot. Gal Gadot. We got I think a Sinead O'Connor song. Which anytime I think of Sinead O'Connor now, I always think of the SNL thing where something was going on with the church, and she was against it. Which I can understand to a point where there was corruption going on. I don't know. This was the time when it was made to be the public found out that some of the priests were doing stuff to kids. And I'm trying to remember the details if that was what brought it on. Well, it might have been something else. But during, like, she's playing on SNL and she took a picture of the Pope and she did this and ripped the picture. And I think she tried to explain it later, but that it was pretty much they were done, as in she was done. People saw that, they were aghast, they were horrified. They go, "How could you do that?" And canceling before canceling was the thing to do. I'll put it that way. And like she would make music afterward, but you never heard of her as much as you did at before that happened. She might have been still making music. It's just they were definitely not as prominent on the radio or on other platforms as they were before the incident. Yeah, we don't know as of yet that he's an undercover cop, but we find that out later. Because I think you do find out like John Turturro, that's what those guns were. And okay, that's why. He brought him the guns. Are you ready? The guns are blanks. These are guns to use so that if someone gets it, someone doesn't get accidentally killed. Interesting to see that Gary Oldman and Ed Harris played brothers. But if so, good pair of actors to have as brothers. I mean, let me think. My favorite Sean Penn film would probably be. That's tough. Maybe At Close Range? Maybe? No, that he was in would be The Game. I just was thinking of films he starred in. But okay, films he's involved with The Game would be my favorite. I want to say he did a good job in that. I wouldn't say that's my favorite performance of his, but my favorite movie he was a part of was The Game. I really do enjoy that film with Michael Douglas. My favorite David Fincher film. One of my favorite Michael Douglas movies. My favorite performance from Sean Penn is probably At Close Range. But this is a good one as well. No, I take that back. Sorry. My favorite movie he's been involved with would be The Game. My favorite performance would be Casualties of War. He just was pure psycho in that movie. Go up against Michael J. Fox. And that'd probably be the second favorite film of mine that involves Sean Penn. God, John C. Riley just looked so lost. Like he's supposed to be. Innocent. This guy gonna die or he gonna get the shit kicked out of him. He ain't gonna make it. There you go. So in the repeat with Sean Penn, my favorite film he's been in is The Game. My favorite performance probably Casualties of War. How about going from 0 to 100? Everybody pissed off. Now, Ed Harris. Sorry. Yeah, two great actors going back and forth, Gary Oldman and Ed Harris. So I just got caught in the moment. But yeah, really good cast does that to you. So I'm trying to think. Ed Harris, my favorite film he has done. He's done a lot of good work. I enjoy Apollo 13. He was in that. The Rock, that's a good one. You know what? I probably would say The Abyss. I probably would say The Abyss. Because I do quite enjoy that movie. That's why I've heard the 4K's not as bad as what Jamie Tammy did to Aliens and True Lies, but at the same time, I don't know, man. If he still fucked with that, that's still a goddamn shame and a half. It really is. It really fucking is. Let's see what else we got. Trying to think. John was Gary Oldman. My favorite film he's been a part of. Probably The Fifth Element. This is my favorite film he was a part of. My favorite performance. That's tough with Gary Oldman. He's done a lot of good work. I mean, Leon the Professional was definitely a memorable one. I still like his performance in The Fifth Element. Air Force One is a good one. I'd probably still say Fifth Element. That sort of used car salesman of the future, but he's selling weapons in this case. Nice breasts. Nice. I see why Sean Penn. And the camera didn't cut, so it is hers. Unless there was some great editing. So, wow. The Princess Bride showed her nipple. There you go. You see more of it there. So you want to see what the Princess Bride looks naked? Here's your movie. Like I said, not bad. I can see why Sean Penn was interested. I could definitely see. It must be a tough thing though to shoot a sex scene in a movie. I know that sounds like a weird statement, but think about it. It's like, oh, it's so sexy. Well, you probably have a bunch of guys and ladies on the crew staring, kind of waiting for the scene to be done to get to the next scene. They're waiting for their break, or they're waiting to get the fuck home, or who knows how many days this is in. Day 40, day 25, whatever. But yeah, I get to the next scene. Especially if you're two strangers, okay, I gotta do this, and where can I touch, and can I touch here, and should I touch there, and oh, well, that's good, but that's not good. And then this is one of those movies where they have to close the set, and you only have a couple people to film the scene. But yeah, I guess it made sense that Goodfellas overshot. Because I mean, Goodfellas, I would say, is Martin Scorsese. It's hard to go wrong with Martin Scorsese with in that era, especially where that's a lengthy film, but the combination of Ray Liotta, Joe Pesci, Robert De Niro, the way the camera moves, and the steady cam sequences, how you get a big scope of all these years that these events take place in Ray Liotta's life and career, and the ups and downs, and the surprising moments of violence, and yeah, Joe Pesci. You think of funny. How am I funny? Yeah, these scenes that become part of the lexicon of iconic scenes. But I mean, the fact that they didn't release this in much theaters at all to begin with is kind of strange. So I guess that is true. If this was released today, it would have gone just straight to streaming, Amazon or Netflix or something. I know this other guy I've seen before and stuff. I cannot remember though, but I know I've seen him in other stuff. Okay, is this guy going to get killed? Or we'd have a moment to really showcase how bad of a guy Ed Harris is. Ooh, there you go. Just it makes sense why he would use a knife, because it's going to be a lot quieter if you use gunshots. Right there, around the throat. That's just one of those things that, again, imagine like you're in this bit where you're helpless, you know it's coming, you're trying to fight it off, coming closer and closer and closer, and that inevitability has to be scary as hell. But that's why you don't want to deal with the mob, and you definitely don't want to owe them money. Never even get close to it. It's funny how, you know, the mob, like all this other stuff back in the day, which you never hear the mob of today. And then some of those old mobsters, they're making YouTube videos talking about how they did pretty much illegal shit. I'm like, can you still do that and still not get arrested? I guess statute of limitations or something, or maybe they were in a certain way. I don't know, but yeah, that's one thing to commend Gary Oldman's character is that yeah, he's his brother is his mobster, and this guy is part of the bad guy regime, but he's at least loyal to his friends, being that emotional about John C. Riley getting killed. Damn, she dumped his ass, and he didn't do a damn thing. So what the fuck did I do? Was the sex that bad? That's a nice shot. Nice wide shot overlooking the whole funeral. That's a crane shot, obviously. Playing the music, Amazing Grace. Oh, there's John Turturro. Which, I mean, if nothing else, this is probably the scene here that clicks in for the audience going, what? Wait, I thought he shot that guy. And they saw each other and they kind of, you know, there you go. Sean Penn's not saying anything. John Turturro's not saying anything. You have to wonder the sort of iffy situation of going into this club, this bar of cops, that if a cop recognizes him and doesn't realize he's undercover right now, that he could be completely fucked over. Hmm. Okay, so the guy that was at night, that guy got killed off. Oh yeah, yeah, we saw, yeah. It's kind of interesting though. The director did that. It's not this big reveal of he trips and a badge falls out of his pocket, or he has to say "I'm a cop" or any of this. So the audience realized at that point what's going on. It's like a nice way of giving that very pertinent, important information without having to spell it out for you. It's like the audience can realize it. They go, "Oh, okay." Pieces kind of fall together, and like I said, you have a whole series of these type of movies where a guy's on the cover and he gets to a point where I want to get out of it. I'm tired of being in this. I'm tired of being undercover. And then you had Donnie Brasco, which I read that's based on real events. To be fair, that's a pretty good one. You had The Departed with Leonardo DiCaprio being undercover. In order to make it different, I rely on the actors. Sorry, I'm just listening. Again, another two good actors, Sean Penn and John Turturro, going back and forth. So it's definitely not a film like if you're going in expecting a lot of action. It's not that kind of movie. It's a movie that, like I said, it will depend on how much you like the actors' performances. And I wouldn't say like the story's the most original. Guy undercover. One of the bad guys is a friend of his. I don't want to arrest my friends. Falls in love with a girl. Stuff you've seen a lot of times before. So like I said, it's not the most original, but there's really nothing in it that I would say is poorly done, poorly made. It's not a bad looking movie. Again, the cast is the biggest advantage this movie has. And we got about hour and 20 hour and 20 minutes left. I personally, I do remember the finale more so than anything. Eventually, Gary Oldman's character is going to get killed off. It's going to be between Sean Penn and Ed Harris, where they're in this bar. There's a shootout where they're both shooting at each other. Sean Penn gets wounded, but I think Ed Harris gets shot in the head. I remember it being a pretty good bullet hit using squibs. Which, hell, I mean, I've said this before in other commentaries. People don't even know what squibs are. The little explosives that you pack in there. I don't know if explosives is even the right phrase, but little things that you put in there with food coloring and other stuff. You hit the button, a switch. It creates, like, it's a bullet hit. Hopefully exploding this way, if it explodes the other way, it's going to damage you. I know that happened to Rutger Hauer on when he did Nighthawks with Sylvester Stallone. That apparently they put it on backwards, so it exploded in and not out, and that injured him fairly well. Injured him sadly. Nice choice of music we had there. Guns N' Roses' "Sweet Child of Mine." I said it's nice that they had Guns N' Roses in there. I like that band. I like a lot of their songs, especially that early album. I like this song, "Sweet Child of Mine," "Welcome to the Jungle," "Paradise City," "November Rain." Quite a few songs of Guns N' Roses I like. My favorite is probably "Welcome to the Jungle." I'll probably say "Welcome to the Jungle," "Paradise City." I liked "Oh My God" from the End of Days soundtrack, so probably that would be number three. Number four, I would put "Sweet Child of Mine." And number five, I'd probably put "November Rain." I know you had the big song they had in Terminator 2. I was never into that song, to be honest, though. I don't know, that song never really did much for me. You will be mine. I don't know, that song never did it for me. And I'm drinking a beer in church. Shit. Oh, there's Gary Oldman there, too. Drinking a shitload of beers in church. Well, I mean, if they're supposed to drink... Don't they drink wine? Well, I guess it's supposed to be the blood of Jesus, and it's grape juice. Which I remember there was a time when I was a kid. Well, I'm trying to think what year this would have been. It probably would have been mid, late 90s, maybe mid 90s. Maybe mid 90s. I don't know what the deal was because we didn't really go to church until there was a few years there where it's okay, well, we'll go every Sunday, and then there was a youth group. And we were just sitting there going, God, this is fucking boring. Like, church is just so boring. It's pretty much telling about how be a good person, don't be an asshole. If you're an asshole, you die, you go to hell. If you're a good person, you go to heaven. and a lot of people die in the Bible. That's like that's every sermon. It's gonna be one of those five things: how you don't go to hell, how you can go to heaven, don't be a dickhead, someone going to die. One of those things. And like the best part was where they give like the once in a blue moon where they give a little bit of oh cool grape juice. Mm. And just I don't know, it just wasn't for me. I'm open to the belief of any religion. I just don't subscribe to one specific one. He is drunk as shit. He's drunk as fuck. Be careful, you don't piss your pants. Don't piss your pants. Jesus. Well, I mean, there's literally Jesus, but I meant the other stuff, Jesus. That'll be funny when the priest comes in. Preacher man, son of a preacher man, comes in, sees all those beer bottles in the little runway. Don't they do? What happened? Jesus came here and got drunk at a damn party. Although, I mean, if you get crucified, you probably want to drink too. Think about it. If you get crucified, you want to drink just to dull the pain. I wonder if that was like the first thing you got to heaven, be like, I need a drink. It is one of those things that is I kind of get the idea, you know, this guy died for your sins, but at the same time, it's like, would I want to be remembered for people looking at my dead body? Because he's sitting there, he's not moving, or you know, he's bleeding to death, he's in pain. It's just like I don't know if I want to be remembered that way. Like the Last Supper, that makes more sense. But I'm just saying. So we got another lovey-dovey scene. I wonder if it was in the middle of one of these scenes where they said, let's start going out on dates." What the hell is he doing? What is he doing? It might be a cop, but not a good one. You just told the fucking lady your secret. What if she has a bug up her ass and decides to tell one other soul and you're dead as fuck? Maybe a cop, but don't seem to be a good one. God damn. One mistake, she says. One slip of the tongue. You wearing a toe tag in the next day, next summer, next Christmas. A turkey ain't gonna be stuffed. It's you gonna be stuffed in a body bag. I will say the director does at times showcase some nice wide shots to show the whole urban landscape of where they're at in New York. Oh, there you go, New Yorker right there. That has to be the reason he has his angle is for that New Yorker sign. Right then and there. Which makes sense. I mean, if you don't have something, make the background as memorable as you can. So it's not just a. It's like, okay, if you have two people talking, do you want just a blank wall? No. Don't have just a blank wall. Have something there. Even if it's just a painting, just have something there. Unless it's the total purpose that we don't want you to concentrate on anything other than these performances here. Oh, there's Burgess Meredith. Yeah, I was wondering. I'm like, wait a minute. Yeah, it did say Burgess Meredith was in here. So this would have been the same year Rocky 5 came out. Sadly, I don't think Burgess Meredith lived much longer after this. Uh, well, well, actually, that's not true. He was in Grumpy Old Men. He was in that film. He was in. Actually, that's not true. Yeah, he did live quite a bit after this. He was in Grumpy Old Men. Was he in Grumpy Earl? Man, I'm trying to think. No, I don't think. Like I said, I know he was in Grumpy Old Men. Uh, I think I gotta look that. I think he was in the sequel because wasn't the first one Ozzie Davis? His character passed. Well, I think Ozzie Davis passed away in the his character passed in one movie. I think. I'll just look it up. So Burgess Meredith was able to give a bit of important information there, or at least I should say confirmation. So yeah, let me just look this up real quick to double check. Okay, he was in the second one, and that was his final role. He passed away in 1997. Okay. I just wanted to make sure. Just I think I got confused because, like I said, I think Ozzie Davis, that character, died in the first one, and then Burgess Meredith character, his character died in the second one. Then Sally Burgess himself died. Okay. Yes, I just want to double check. Yeah, Sean Penn has to think that he's being watched all this time. So now he's learning a little bit more what's going on. Now he got a few more details. So that's Nicholson. Actually, now we'll look up. This guy, again, he seems familiar. I know I've seen him in stuff. Yeah, don't bring a baseball bat to a gunfight. Should have had a piece. Now you have that piece of brain you pick up out of the floor. Never bring a baseball bat to a gunfight. Like I said, that's probably the only thing. Well, the only two things I'll knock on the film is number one, I don't know if this film needs to be 2 hours and 14 minutes. It seems a bit long for this kind of story where. And like I said, apparently it was 3 hours originally. And like I said, it's not the most original story. There's not a whole lot in here that I'm like, oh wow, I haven't seen that done before, or that's a nice change from the typical tropes of can't call it subgenre, but this type of movie. So I wouldn't say it really does anything that different, but the keep repeating this, the performances that really help push the narrative through. Like the direction is competent enough. I wouldn't say there's anything that mesmerizing about it, but it's competent enough. The soundtrack, you got some notable names. Mentioned your Guns N' Roses, Sinead O'Connor, among other stuff. Let me see. R.D. Tall as Nickel. R.D. Tall. I guess is this guy's name. He was a duty sergeant in 48 Hours. He was a courtroom guard in Brewster's Millions. He was in At Close Range with Sean Penn. Chaplain in Vietnam and Born on the 4th of July. Part of the DA in Young Guns 2. Let's see. He did TV work, more TV work. Worked with Sean Penn again. Cop at Park and I Am Sam. Okay. Huh. This guy, I thought he was someone else. I mean, I probably recognize him in a bit part of 48 Hours because I've seen that movie so much. So, just I thought he was someone else. Okay. Yeah, I got him confused with someone else. I don't remember the guy's name either. That's why I wanted to look up this guy's name. I'm like, is he the guy I'm thinking of? But no. He's not the guy I'm thinking of. Yeah. But I'll be right back. Alright, sorry I had to get some stuff done. I just added this stuff together. I'm 1 hour, 16 minutes, and 27... 1 hour, 16 minutes, 27 seconds in. 3, 2, 1, pressing play. Robin Wright is arguing with Sean Penn now that she knows what she knows and what she knows. No, you are jumping all the goddamn plays. Maybe you shouldn't have told her in the fucking first place, dumb. Well, he was drunk, to be fair. He was in his right state of mind. He's got a point. You could have told all this on the phone. Like, why do you have to come here in person to say all this stuff? Lady, make up your fucking mind, man. You fucking came to him. You walked in this fucking dojo. mean, we got like, what, an hour of the movie left? Less than an hour. Of course, Dear Omen thinks it's those guys who did it, in which they didn't. You don't want to do that. Yeah, this obviously ain't going to end well. Not one single bit. Yep, there you go. Damn. That one guy just pooped right in the head. Shit. Nice squibs there. Nice bloody hits. Dan, that's a good looking shot because you see the whole cityscape behind it. It's in the middle of traffic, rush hour, however you want to put it. Like, you see it all, the whole shebang. It's not close to offset or anything. And then that bit there, they're craning up and you see all the people walking back and forth. The fact that none of them like try to fuck with the crew and be like, hey, you know, some asshole doing this, or hey, how's it going? Ed Harris can really showcase that intensity. He just really can turn up that intensity quite a few notches. Whether it be when he's trying to get his wife, ex-wife, back to life in the abyss. You never keep anything on your life. Now fight, fight. Or him and Michael Biehn going back and forth in The Rock. Like you say, you can really turn up that intensity and that just anger that he just steered to the guy. Works very well in that. Of course, during that sit down, more than likely he's going to be told to kill his own brother. And Ed Harris is going to do it. Because he cares more about the boss than anything. Yeah, figures out. Yeah. Yeah, how you're gonna handle it is you don't kill your own brother. That's how you're gonna handle it. And that might be the final pushing point for Sean Penn to finally take care of Ed Harris's ass. God, look at that phone, old ass phone. When they actually had a cord with it, and the dial, 5, 4, 5. Now it'd all be, even that with Sean Penn picks up that phone with the cord, that would all be cell phones, all that shit. On a way, on one hand, it was a blessing because that way you had an excuse. I wasn't home, so I know I couldn't fucking answer. And then when you're outside, you're not staring at your phone the whole time. On the flip side, there's the nice idea of choice that you do on your phone, and you do all these things that you're able to do on it. By this point, become mini computers. Our new compact VCR shown actual size. Wow. The heyday of VCRs. Holy shit. That's a lot of Uzis. Why does it smell like a setup? Okay, you go on without me, so I have to be safe here, and you all just, yeah, take care of your own business and adios muchachos. I mean, if I was Sean Penn, I'd be like, there might be something here to this. Especially now that he knows. I mean, at this point, Sean Penn knows that Ed Harris and his butt boy killed John C. Reilly, his character. Doesn't tell Gary Oldman for some reason, hey, this old guy, you know, pointed the finger at your brother, but maybe he figured if he did that, you wouldn't believe in it. Yeah, this is obviously a setup. Them coming and get killed, get massacred, something's gonna happen here. Could be absolutely be wrong, but I'm just saying. Last time Ed Harris had a meeting with the guy. Now it's like, okay, I'm not gonna be with you. I'm gonna be separated from you. So more likely, Ed Harris is going to tell these guys where his brother's at. There's definitely something else to this. Yep, this is where you're going to sell his brother. And that's the thing, like, we know where this is going, we know where this is heading, so it's just a matter of when. Like, if Ed Harris, I mean, we've seen that he was willing to slit the John C. Riley's throat. He has all this anger for his brother, and he's shown zero love for Gary Oldman's character. Sean Penn has to be thinking that something is going to be up with this. And like, we know where this is going. We're just waiting for the next drop of the needle to hit for good old rock and roll to play. With every heartbeat, his miserable douchebag life insults me. That's the thing, like, we don't have any doubts of what Ed Harris is going to choose. So this makes this scene kind of not work in a suspense way, because, like, we know what he's going to choose. There's no doubt in our minds. Like, if there was some, like, if there were moments where Ed Harris showed a little bit of love for Dear Omen's character, then maybe there could be a bit of suspense of maybe it could go the other way, but again, I see he's never really shown any of that, so it's not really the case. And also, like, Sean Penn's character is undercover, but he never really goes to, like, any captain or any other. I guess briefly John Turturro, but there's not a whole lot of, like, him having to give updates of this is what's going on, this is what's happening, this is where I'm at. Like, not much of him having to report in. Here's the thing, though. If Gary Oldman just went ahead, then he maybe be alive and stuff. See, this is more the suspense of the scene here, because we've seen Gary Oldman's a wild man, and there's that tension of will he just go ahead and go, or will he not? Honestly, you want him to go and take care of business. I would say this is now this part of the suspense works rather well. Bit too late to make this call. Sorry, I haven't been saying anything because now I'm caught into the whole moment, the whole bit of it. Oh, no one there. Clock is still getting nice camera movement there, showing the emptiness of it all. That's the one of those old ass elevators, wooden and all. Okay, just wanted to check this still recording stuff. There's going to be the suspense of are we going to see Ed Harris? Are they going to see Ed Harris? You feel bad for Gary Oldman because he's happy that his brother's alive when he should be, if man should be happy that if he was dead. It's too bad. I mean, that definitely would have been interesting to see a big old war break out and what happens after the fact. Oh, shit. Well, you're not going to do it yourself and let someone else do it? Or your lackeys? Send them on a drop that, oh, the drop went wrong. There's a reason why he hasn't done that for years. There's a reason he's doing it now. But Ed Harris is doing a good performance. If you see, there's a bit, that bit of, I didn't want to do this, bit of sadness there in his eyes. But at the same time, he's still doing it regardless of how he feels. Pit business over family, there you go. Yeah, I'm sorry it's not the most exciting commentary. There's a lot of lapses of silence. It's just, again, I didn't grow with the film. I've only seen the film once, and that feels like it's been a while. I'm not a guy that goes into deep dissertations of filmography. It's just more. I just watch movies more for entertainment value than anything. So I really don't know how much of an exciting commentary this will be, but. So now he tells him. Well, when you're getting fucked over and shot at, and you're dying, you don't think, hey, my buddy was right about my own brother. That's what you get. God's telling you the truth. You don't want to listen. Oh, shit. And then you feel bad because despite him being part of the bad guys, he's a very kind of likable personality on Gary Oldman's part. So now he can't. Oh, right. So of course the meme's been changed. So now John Turturro will be at Battery Park going, "What the fuck's going on?" There you go. At the end, if you had a cell phone, you could just, before the days of cell phone. Nowadays, it'd be like, okay, I'll make a phone call. Boom, we're here. Do you hear soon? Do you hear quick? Not back then. I think also the audience pretty much knows that Gary Oldman ain't going to make it. So they said there are moments that are, I guess, are called predictable. Like you kind of know what's going to happen, but again, at least you have a payphone. I mean, I doubt they don't make it in time. Oh, great. So he's going to be on the phone when he could be watching Gary Oldman's character. It's like, maybe if you weren't on the phone, things would have worked out. That's what he gets for being on the fucking phone. If he wasn't on the phone. Again, if he had been watching instead on the fucking phone. There you go. Dude, he's a shitty cop. Shitty, shitty cop. He's really bad at his fucking job. It's not paying that fucking much attention. I know what he was calling for, but goddamn, you're supposed to be watching the guy. If you're watching the guy, you probably would still be alive. I think you should just, quit your job, buddy. Because you're not really good at it. John C. Riley's dead now. Gary Oldman's dead. You fucking suck at your job, buddy. God damn. Well, he's right. You're not cut out for this undercover shit. Yeah, it's a good thing you quit because you're not good at your job. Quitting would be a good strategy for you right now. And then again, watch this again and you just realize just how shitty he is at his fucking job. Again, he cannot do his job for shit. And yeah, sorry about all the background noises and roosters and all that stuff. Hmm. No, but Sean Pinker saved him if he did the job better. Yeah, because I think this is when he shows his badge to Ed Harris, and you don't get that final confrontation. I like Ed Harris's stare. The look on Ed's face says it all. Nice little personal fuck to you. Yeah, you know how small you are? Look how you've been played, dude. Look who I am. There you go, buddy. Boston Police. You played yourself. You played yourself. Just let her go, dude. Just let her go. Move on. It's just not a whole lot to talk about, if I'm being honest. It's just not a whole lot to talk about. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. Just waiting. Yeah, now he's talking with Robin Wright, and he's talking about seems so far away down that yet away. I don't know. He's rambling about something. I don't know. It's like, get to the goddamn point, dude. Spicoli. Yeah, you went undercover. We know this. Like, have these dramatic pauses. I'm sure this was the if he was hoping they'd get an Oscar nom for this. This is probably the clip he's thinking. Okay, when I get the Oscar nomination for Best Actor, this is the clip they're going to be saying and portraying on screen, saying this is the moment. It's just an idea. Spit it out. God damn, man. Are you the rambler? Or you ramble on and on and on and on? God damn it, Spicoli. Yep. So that's probably the one thing I can appreciate. That's one thing I can appreciate is they didn't go for the typical love story ending where she wishes him good luck, or I wish things could have been different, or anything in between. It's literally, I'm done with this shit. I'm going out with this guy. I don't give a fuck anymore. Goodbye. At least that's a bit different. I can appreciate that. That's a little bit different from the usual. where literally there's really nothing else for him to live for other than to stop Ed Harris's character. But yeah, I forgot that though. That's how the Robin Wright Sean Penn love story of this movie ends, is just her being completely indifferent. All the stuff that he said, his big Oscar speech, she's like, I don't give a flying fuck. You take a Peter Pan right off this fucking waterfall for all I care. Don't care. And even it's like, you cold, man, you cold, yeah. As cold as a witch's tit. As cold as Frosty the Snowman's wiener. That's some cold shit. But I mean, they at least they did build up where she kept saying she didn't want to be a part of this. She did not care to be a part of this. Surely the stuff that she said, there was a conviction to it. Like when she said, I should have told my brother about you, that you were a cop. And I mean, in a way, it does make sense because I don't know how many days this has been in between the first meeting and now. Has it been a week? Has it been a few days? Has it been 2 weeks? It's either A, I say this and then maybe my brother would be alive. Because they would. Or B's, I mean, something else would have happened. And even at the end of the film, we don't know really what happens if Sean Penn dies of his wounds. Even if he doesn't, he's got no job. He's got nowhere to go. We don't know of any other family he has. Can't even call John Turturro a friend. So, will he die of his wounds? Will he go to jail? Will he? I don't know. I remember this having some pretty decent slow motion. Reminds you a little bit of John Woo. Ooh, right in the hand there. There you go. Ooh, nice squib. Come right out of the back. Nice and bloody. And that's the thing, when you do that, it creates this visceral reaction that CGI does not equate to. I say John Woo, but you could also say Sam Peckinpah or anything. Goes in comparison with the nice sweet parade. Ooh, there you go, right on the shoulder, right there. Very well constructed shootout sequence because you just all the scripts you got to put on all the pieces of the environment. When someone gets hit, there's a big visceral splash of the squib, so it just you feel a bit more of that intensity to it all. So Sean Penn's been shot in the leg. Well, he gets this guy. This is like the third guy he's getting. Getting good, good and dead. Ooh, now we got on the arm there. There you go. That's what you get. So far the guy's been shot twice. Yeah, I don't mind the lighting in the scene either. I think he just wounded one more time. In the side or something. That's what I mean, like, all this stuff is like, okay, well, we gotta make sure each time Ed Harris shoots, we have something behind them explode. We gotta get the timing right. I remember that shot with him holding the gun and the blood on the side of his face, right side of his face. That was, I think, the VHS cover. Ooh, there you go. Right in the head. Nice, nice shot. Definitely a good way to end your movie. Get a nice slow-mo shootout sequence. Well choreographed. Bloody. Some nice squibs in there. Very well done. Does Robin Wright not giving a shit about anything? Guess her day wasn't that great. I don't see the guy there. That's a bullseye. So we see Sean Penn here, but again, don't know if he's gonna die of his wounds. Don't know if he's gonna go to hospital, then go to jail. I guess that's up to the viewer to decide. He's just gonna move back to Boston. Because this is New York and he's from Boston. Maybe he'll move back to Boston. I'm assuming maybe that's what it is. Because again, it's New York and he's going maybe just going to move back to Boston. And maybe he said he quit, but maybe he quit being undercover there. And he's like, fuck, I'm going to get my job back in Boston. I don't know. Don't know. Then we never know. But overall, like I said, I like the film okay. I wouldn't say I loved to death, but it's a good one. The cast, especially, very well cast, well casted set of characters. Nice that the love story kind of ended in that way because it makes it feel a bit more refreshing. Some of the stuff was predictable. You kind of knew, Gary Oldman's going to get killed, and then Harry's going to turn on his brother, and like I said, there's not a whole lot of action. Mainly that bit there, which is the best, my favorite part of the movie, honestly. I don't think the movie needed to be 2 hours and 14 minutes. I think it could have been trimmed and tightened up quite a bit. You did get to see Robin Wright naked in her titties, so that's nice. Yeah, a couple nice steady cam and train shots. Some nice wide shots of the New York landscape. Score by Ennio Morricone, plus some Guns N' Roses, Sinead O'Connor, nice, decent soundtrack. Overall, I don't know how many times I rewatched the film. I would definitely say Goodfellas is above this, but it's still pretty good. Still a pretty decent movie. So with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. Thanks once again, Ben. And we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.